On a quiet spring morning in Omaha, Nebraska back in 1979, a neighbor knocked on the door of a small, modest home. Inside, they would discover something that would haunt this community for more than 45 years. A young boy, just 10 years old, and his mother brutally murdered, and their killer just vanished. The case went cold, the family left without answers, until now. Just this week, February 2025, police arrested a man they say is responsible for those horrific crimes. A man who's been living under a different name for decades. This is the story of Kamal and Deroshia Matthews, a mother and son whose lives were stolen, and a detective team who refused to let time erase their story. But let's go back to where it all began. It's the spring of 1979. Omaha, Nebraska, a quiet city, the kind of place where neighbors knew each other, kids rode their bikes until dark, and families left their doors unlocked. In that small, tight-knit neighborhood lived 32-year-old Deroshia Matthews and her son Kamal. He was just 10. Kamal was a bright kid, full of life. He loved basketball and always had a smile, the kind of kid who made friends easily. And Deroshia worked hard to provide for him, a single mother doing her best. Their home wasn't fancy, but it was filled with love. And one day, that love-filled home became a crime scene. It started when a neighbor noticed something that wasn't right. The house had been too quiet. They knocked on the door, no answer, but something felt wrong, so the police were called. When the police officers stepped inside, they found a scene so brutal, so horrific, it shocked the community to its core. Deroshia murdered, Kamal murdered, a mother and her child taken violently. The details were gruesome, and out of respect for the family, not all of them have ever been made public. But what police saw, they would never forget. Detectives worked tirelessly. They interviewed neighbors, friends, anybody that knew something. Evidence was collected. But remember, this was 1979. No DNA database, no security, cameras on every corner. Wasn't a thing. Investigators had leads, but one by one, they went nowhere. And then the case went cold. Years turned into decades, and the Matthews family was left with heartbreak and no answers. Thankfully, some detectives never forgot. In Omaha, there's a special team, the Cold Case Squad. Their job is to look back at cases just like this. Cases that haunt families, cases that deserve answers. And as the years passed, technology advanced. DNA science changed everything. So, the detectives went back to the evidence collected in 1979 and retested it, using cutting-edge forensic tools, and this time, it led them somewhere new. It led them to a man they say has been hiding in plain sight. His name today is Abdul Malik Hussein, but back in 1979, he went by Louis Walker. Detectives believes he was there that day, and after the murders, he disappeared, changed his identity, and built in a new life. For 45 years, he thought he was free. Until now. Just this week, police tracked him down. He's now 67 years old, living quietly. But his past had finally caught up to him. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. For Kamal, for Deroshia, for a mother and son who never got justice until now. For 45 years, their family waited. For 45 years, the community held on to the hope that one day someone would pay for what was done. Now, that day is finally here. The case is a reminder that time does not erase the truth. Justice is always worth fighting for, even if it takes a lifetime. If you guys have any thoughts on this story, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And if you have any stories you'd suggest me doing, also leave that down below. I'd love to do them. I want to thank you guys for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you're into survival, true crime, and mystery stories. I'm really enjoying this, and the last few videos, while not amazing to some, I'm really happy with the viewership we've gotten. 500, 600, 700 views. That makes me really happy, and it knows I'm going in the right direction with my channel. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks, guys.